त्रैवेद्यं हृद्यं त्रिपुरहरमाद्यं त्रिनयनं जटाभारोदारं चलदुरगहारं मृगधरं महादेवं देवं मयि सदयभावं पशुपतिं चिदालम्बं साम्बं शिवमतिविडम्बं हृदि भजे. Om Namah Shivaya. The 57th verse, which we saw last, expressed a sincere regret on the part of the devotee that he or she has wasted all his or her life going after pleasures, just pursuing passing gratifications. And an earnest prayer was made, Rakshaniyaha aham asmi. I need to be protected. I need to be brought on the right track. O Lord Shiva, please come and save me. Now again, there is a bit of a metaphor, there is a bit of poetic indulgence, at the same time making a very wonderful comparison between the sun as we know in the sky and Lord Shiva, who is called Koti Surya Prabha. The glory, the effulgence, the light of Lord Shiva is millions of times more than the sun in the sky, whom we see every day. And the point made here in the coming verse 58 is that there is the sun whom we know, and when he rises, oh, all the darkness which was so far enveloping the earth, covering all the skies, all that darkness just vanishes. One sun is able to do it. O Lord, O Shiva, you are millions of times more bright than the sun. How is it that I don't find the darkness enveloping my thinking not yet gone? Or I don't find it gone, I find it not yet gone. Do something. Please take pity on me. You are capable. Very easily you can dispel all the darkness in my bosom. Kindly do so, is the prayer. Let's see this comparison between Surya, sun, Varija Bandhava he is called, and Lord Shiva. Eko Varija Bandhava Kshitinabho Vyaptam Tamo Mandalam भित्त्वालोचनगोचरोऽपि भवति त्वं कोटिसूर्यप्रभः वेद्य किन्न भवस्यहो घनतरं कीदृङ् भवेत् मत्तमः तत्सर्वं व्यपनीय मे पशुपते साक्षात् प्रसन्नो भव. The devotee very earnestly prays to Lord Shiva, Prasanno Bhava. Looks like you are not pleased with me. I don't deserve all your kindness, true, but you are the one who shows his grace to people who are not deserving also. Therefore, irrespective of my eligibility or qualifications, It would be in fitness of things, O great Lord, for you to show compassion on me. Prasanno bhava. And then comes the metaphor. Varija bandavaha. Varija is a lotus. And since lotuses bloom when they get exposed to, the buds get exposed to sunlight, the sun is called their relative, their well-wisher, their friend. Varijanam bandavaha suryaha. Ekaha varija bandavaha tamomandalam bhitva. He breaks through the vast enveloping darkness. What does it envelop? Kshitinabho vyaptam. It is everywhere on the earth, in the skies, this darkness. And upon sunrise, all darkness vanishes. And the sun, lochana gocharapi bhavati. Gocharaha api bhavati. Everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, is able to see the sun in the sky. After the sun breaks through that tremendous amount of darkness, Tvam Shiva, you are Koti Surya Prabha. You have the light comparable with millions of suns. The light that millions of suns have is with you. Koti Surya Samaprabha. How come Vedyaha Kimna Bhavasi? Why are we not able to see you? Why are we not able to know you? Why are we not able to experience you in our heart? Aho! Now there is an exclamation of certain anguish. Kidruk bhavet mattamaha. The outer darkness which the sun in the sky dispels is itself vast. And my darkness, the darkness filling my head, filling my or obstructing my seeing or thinking, must be too large, much more dense. Kidrak mattamaha, mama tamaha, mama andakaraha, kidrang bhavet. How dark or how dense should it be that even though you are millions of times brighter than the sun, this darkness is not going. Therefore, bowing down before you in all earnestness, I pray you, O Lord Shiva, Tat Sarvam Vyapaniya, dispelling all this darkness in my mind, O Pashupate, O Master, Ruler of all living beings, Sakshat Prasanno Bhava. Please become Gochara. Gochara, Indriya Gochara. Let me see you. Let me feel your presence. Let me experience the bliss of your proximity. O Shiva, O Pashupate, Prasanno Bhava. All these are, as we can see, exercises to read such shlokas, to sing, to feel such shlokas, to feel the meaning thereof, is indeed an exercise. And that exercise weakens our worldly desires and strengthens the spiritual aspiration. A whole lot of our remaining worldly is because our spiritual aspiration is too weak. It's a whisper, it's a muffled voice. Alas, how do we really get going? Many of us, with respect to a lot of work also, do not have a sense of urgency and we postpone the work. And then somebody joked about people who do things with rather much delay. Oh, these people are like rockets. Unless their bottom is set on fire, they won't take off. Strange are the varieties of human psychology. Some get so anxious and a lot before the deadline or before when something needs to be done. They are so anxious. They prepare everything. I knew a couple in Los Angeles. The husband was cool. He says, even when setting up a function, setting up a satsang by me those days in their home, they would say, Swamiji, on July 14, please come to our house. We have invited some 20 friends. Please address us on a Vedanta topic. Agreed. And July 14 is the satsang. And July 7 also, 1 week before also, the husband doesn't even want to talk about what is required. The wife is anxious the moment that is decided that on 14th July Swamiji will come and in our house there will be a get together and so many arrangements are needed. She gets so panicky and he is other extreme. But thank God, though their natures are so different, apparently the two are complementary to each other. After she nudges him, come on, let us sit down, let us make a list of things that are required. He says, oh, yeah, yeah, so, okay, okay, and so on. And their combination, the wife being preparing so well in advance, husband taking it easy. The combination somehow ensures that things are ready. The guests are made comfortable. The visiting speaker is comfortable. The program goes on without a single flaw, single defect, single error, and everybody then returns home after sumptuous prasad. Prasad is an important part of the satsangs many times. So, tamaha, in us there is this andhakara, and we pray, Lord, remove this andhakara, darkness, and strengthen our aspiration, our longing for seeing you. And with respect to this longing itself, the next verse, namely 59, does not give one example or two examples, not even three, four, five, or six. In a single verse, we find, ah, oh sorry, four drishtanta. It is the 60th verse which comes out with seven drishtantas. We will go there. But the immediate verse now on hand, 59, gives four beautiful metaphors uh, where there is giving expression to how actually we want the Lord. We want Lord Shiva in the bottom of our hearts. The main sentence in the 60th verse, so again, sorry, 59th verse, one hand, is in the third line. If you take a look at the book in your hands, Chetaha Vanchati. Mamakam Chetaha Vanchati. My heart desires. What does your heart desire? Really, at the bottom of my heart, I desire. The fourth line says, Bhavat Padabja Yugalam. Mamakam Chetaha Bhavat Padabja Yugalam Vanchati. My heart seeks the lotus feet of yours, O Lord. In what manner? How? How does your mind seek me? If the Lord were to ask, the four drishtantas are given. Hamsa Padmavanam Samichhati Yatha Nilambudam Chatakaha Koka Kokanada Priyam Pratidinam Chandram chakorastada tatha cheto vanchati mamakam pashupate chinmargamrugyam vibho गौरीनाथ भवत्पदाब्जयुगलं कैवल्यसौख्यप्रदम् मामकं चेतः कैवल्यसौख्यप्रदं भवत्पदाब्जयुगलं वाञ्छति. My heart actually seeks, but somehow my papa samskaras are putting that seeking, which is very much present, to the back seat. The seeking in my heart gets reduced to a whisper, and desire for pleasures and positions, or taking revenge on somebody, settling score with someone, and all those, they come to the front desk or the front bench. They come to the forefront. They are ruling the roost. But I want actually your lotus feet, which are, as the last word goes in the shloka, Kaivalya Saukhya Pradam. The lotus feet of yours are ones that that give, prayachataha. Kaivalya Saukhya. Saukhya is Sukhasya Bhavaha. The happiness of moksha, the happiness of non-duality. Kaivalya in Advaita Vedanta, there is an Upanishad called Kaivalya Upanishad, has a very technical meaning. Kaivalya means Kevala Bhavaha, that means the state where three kinds of difference are absent. Sajatiya Bheda, Vijatiya Bheda, and Swagata Bheda. Sajatiya Samana Jatiya Bheda. There are two cows, both of them belong to the species called cow, but one is white and another is black. So, two cows, both of them belonging to the same jati, have a difference between them. Then Vijatiya Bheda. A cow is different from a crow. A crow again is different from a table. Cow, crow, table belong to different categories. Vijatiya, Vibhinna Jatiya beings or things. There is a difference between them. And Swagata, within a cow, inside the cow, or within the frame of reference of a cow, the cow's face is different from the cow's tail, the cow's body is different from the cow's legs, and so on. That would be Swagata Bheda. So Kaivalya is said to be a certain realization where no difference of any kind applies to one's being. I am different from her. She is ahead and I am behind. Is the lot of the jiva. You and I many times feel low about ourselves. Somebody is richer, somebody is more talented, somebody is more hardworking, somebody is more effective, somebody is more dharmic, and I am so sinful. So, somebody and me, there is a bheda. Kaivalya is all these judgments, all these conclusions go into thin air. Hamsaha Padmavanam Samichhati. A swan wants to go to that area upon a lake where there are a lot of lotus plants. As Swami Tapasyananji says, the swan is believed to subsist on lotus stalks, not just to hide, but it eats the lotus stalks. Hamsaha Padmavanam. So, on the lake itself, an area where a lot of lotus plants are growing, a swan wants to go there time and again. Like that, my mind, my heart wishes to come to your lotus feet. Neelambudam Chataka, the legendary or mythological Chataka bird, looks for dark clouds to gather in the sky. From those dark clouds will fall raindrops, and the Chataka bird would drink only those raindrops, not water available anywhere else. So the longing on the part of the Chataka bird for raindrops is powerful. O Shiva, with your grace, I would like to I would like to seek your lotus feet with the same intensity as Chataka would do with regard to raindrops. The third illustration is a certain bird called Chakravaka. Some of these could be mythological. We don't know whether modern biology, modern science actually supports it. It doesn't matter. This is used more to convey a certain truth. Just as we talk about alchemy, there is no alchemy really. Turning base metal through some chemical process, do something, an ordinary cheap metal is turned into gold. And the expression alchemy, an alchemist, there's a famous book also by Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. I guess I have not read it. I guess it's about how human transformation takes place. From being afraid, insecure, restless, and full of self judgments, more often negative, once in a while feeling good about ourselves, but many other times living in self rejection. All that is the base metal. And the alchemist comes over, guides us, instructs us, gets us to do certain exercises. We are transformed. We become like gold. Is there real alchemy? There was a period in the history of science when, in different parts of the world, people believed that alchemy is possible. And with all kinds of chemicals, heating this, heating that, doing this, doing that, they were trying to change base metal to gold. But it's a forgotten chapter of the history of science. So, this Chakravaka, what is said about Chakravaka birds? The Chakravaka birds, especially a couple, male and female, are very attached to each other. And even as they are spending time at a night, uh, they get separated. One flies in this direction, imagining the other is coming with it, but the other has flown in another direction and they don't know where they are. And they feel miserable. They are longing to meet again. But in darkness, apparently, these Chakravaka birds are unable to meet, unable to get going. Maybe they are afraid also. They just remain where they are. They are waiting for sunrise. Koka is the Chakravaka bird. Kokanada Priya is another name for the sun. For the sun makes these male and female Chakravaka birds very happy. As he rises, as there is light everywhere, who knows, sometimes these two may find that they are very near actually. They are on two trees which are not far. Oh, we are so near, yet we imagined we were very far. Then they join. Therefore, just as Chakravaka birds, or to be technically, grammatically true, the male Kokaha, the male Chakravaka bird, is seeking sunrise, after which he can meet the female counterpart. Last but not the least, we have a wonderful fourth illustration, and this is about the Chakora bird. Surely one more mythological case. I don't think there is any real bird like that. This chakora subsists on moonlight. While Chataka looks for raindrops, Chakora wants beams of moonlight, and that moonlight nourishes the Chakora bird. Pratidinam Chakoraha yatha chandram vanchati. Like the Chakora bird that with all its emotional strength desires moonrise. Chakora wants to see the moon on the sky, and the moonlight is its food. Like that, may my heart seek your feet. May my heart long to belong to you, serve you, be around you, be at your feet. And who are you? Chinmarga mrugyam bhavatpadabjayugalam vanchati. Your feet, for that matter, you are mrugyam. Margana is seeking, searching for. And really speaking, though we have a lot of bhakti literature, and bhakti indeed takes us to a very great height, finally the truth of Shiva has to be sought and attained by no other method than Jnana Yoga. Chin Marga is a sweet word here. It means Jnana Marga. It means the path showed by Upanishads. It is through Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. As Yajnavalkya says to Maitreyi, Atmava are drashtavyaha. You must realize the Atma. And how on the earth am I to realize it? If Maitreyi were to ask, Yajnavalkya would answer, Atma shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. And the same Yajnavalkya throws more light on the matter while discussing things with King Janaka. He says, higher we go, it is more and more of negating, letting go of what truth is not, letting go of what you are not, which you are all the same holding, letting go of false ideas of who you are, you will come upon the truth of who you are. Therefore, Sri Ramana Maharshi advises us to question every idea that we have about ourselves. I'm good, I'm bad, I lost, I won, I'm better than her, but not as good as he is. 1,000 ideas. We live in self judgment, and the self judgment crushes us. Maharshi Ramana says, question every judgment your mind makes about you, of you, on you, and by questioning self inquiry, you may get freed. O Vibho, O all pervasive Lord, O Gauri Natha, O the beloved of Mother Parvati, called Gauri. Gauri Natha, Kaivalya Saukhya Pradam, Bhavat Padabja Yugalam, Yat Chinmarga Mrugyam Cha Bhavati, Tat Mama Chetaha, Mamakam Chetaha, Vanchati. What a sweet set of 4 illustrations. It's about, once more, strengthening our own aspiration. Though in this verse taken literally, the devotee is saying, I very strongly long for you. But actually, in the spiritual practice of you and me, to read such shloka and to contemplate upon it is to awaken the possible desire in us to be at the feet of Lord Shiva. Last but not the least, for this class, for this session, we go to the 60th verse. Shashti Shloka Purti. When a man or a lady turns 60, they have some functions. Shashti Abdi Purti. Abdi means, not Abdi, that is ocean, but Abdi. The is Alpa Prana. Abdi. Abdi means 1 year. Shashti Abdi, completion of 60 years. In India, there are some very efficient and punctual trains, well maintained, well run, and above all, time to time, correct time. I often use the Shatabdi Express from New Delhi to Kalka or New Delhi to Chandigarh. Starts one of them starts sharp 7:40 a.m. from New Delhi, and I reach Kalka, which is the portal to the state of Himachal Pradesh, by about 11:50. So Shata Abdi, Shashti Abdi, but we are completing. Shatabdi, I think, was named. Probably Indian Railways completed 100 years. Something completed 100 years, and this genre of trains were inaugurated. They have been there for quite some time. So we are completing 60 shlokas now. Shashti shloka. Shashti shloka purti, we may say. And there are, as I said before, 7 illustrations in a single shloka. 7 up. There's a drink, right? 7 up. This is a 7 up shloka. Rodastoya hrita shramena patikas taror vrushtitaha भीतस्वस्थगृहं गृहस्थमतिथिः दीनप्रभुं धार्मिकम् दीपं सन्तमसा आकुलश्च शिखिनं शीतावृतस्त्वं तथा चेतः सर्वभयापहं व्रज सुखं शम्भो पदाम्भोरुहम्. Here, the devotee is addressing his mind. Oh, my dear mind, come on, it's never too late. Oh, Chetaha, as you have the word in the fourth line. Chetaha, that is Sambodhana. Oh, my dear mind, Sarva Bhayapaham, Shambhoho Padambhoruham, Vraja. Go, take shelter at the lotus feet. Amboruha is also Varija, Ambuja, Padma, and many other words. Kamala. So Pada Kamala. Shambhoho Pada Kamalam Vraja. Take shelter in Lord Shiva's feet. Be in steady devotion to Lord Shiva. O mind, how? Just as number one illustration. Toya hritaha rodaha vrajati. Somebody who is drowning in a river, panting and trying to swim, and he is running out of energy. He looks for the bank of the river. Somehow, if he reaches Rodaha, Rodaha is the river bank. Someone drowning in a river somehow wants to reach the river bank and save himself. So, number one. Number two, Shramena Patikaha, a traveler, very tired on a summer day, walking and walking in hot sun, looks around. Is there a place which has shade? He is looking for shade. The drowning person was looking for the bank of a river, and this tired traveler is looking for a place of ample shade, chaya, where he can go and relax a little. Then there is the third example, Vrushtitaha, earlier chayam, taroho chayam. Then Vrushtitaha bhitaha, somebody frightened by torrential rain and maybe not having an umbrella too, is looking for a shelter, swastha griham, some house which is in good shape. I can just get in and save myself from these terrific rains. Number 4 is Atitihi. A guest hasn't found a guest house. You are in a new town, you are at a new place, or you are on way to some other place. In olden days, from one village to another, they pass through sometimes forest like areas too. But over there also, if there is a good grahastha, for in our culture, grahasthas were told, Atiti Devo Bhava. You may not know that guest at all, but somebody is needing shelter. Come, come, have some rest here. We will provide you with a meal also. We will arrange everything for you. So, Atiti is looking for some Sadgrahastha. Atitir Grahastam. And then the fifth metaphor or the analogy is Deenaha. Somebody miserable because of financial difficulties. He looks around. Is there someone who can give me a hand of help? Dharmikam Prabhum Yatha Vrajati. The miserable person then goes to a very rich man and says, I am going through very great hardships. Give me this much of amount and I will return it once I get better in my financial conditions. Or it may be just a donation, a gift, not a loan, whichever way. Dharmika Prabhu would be such a relief to a person suffering from financial hardships. The sixth analogy is Santamasa Akulaha. Someone who is quite miserable because of darkness, lost. It can sometimes happen even in prosperous countries. Once I was at a place called Ojai near Los Angeles. In the evening, I just went. Somebody gave me a drop to some vegetarian place. I had some simple vegetarian food, and I knew broadly how to get back to the guest house where I was staying, Krishnamurti Center in Ojai. I started walking back, and very soon, in the country called United States of America, where everything is in plenty, to my bad luck, that stretch of the road, which was a bit outside the town of Ojai, did not have any street lights. Shiva Shiva. After some time, I got terribly afraid. Where am I? And is there a left turn now? Is there a right turn now? Because I had gone to the vegetarian eating place thanks to somebody giving me a ride. So I did not notice very well. I did have some kind of a, I think, iPhone 5 or so. I started looking at the Google map, and very soon my mobile also was running out of battery. And in darkness, I'm not able to see even the roads because in your country, I have seen even in prosperous areas like Silicon Valley, in a fairly upscale town like Saratoga, there are some streets deliberately no street lights because they, in their house, they have all the amenities, but outside they want it village like atmosphere. So they even name their neighborhoods or roads by village road, uh, village um, village view houses, or something like that. To complete the example, I got quite scared. I even called some people in this city of San Jose, saying I am at such place, and one board shows name of a road. Where am I to go? They also did some guidance. Somehow, I reached my place of stay. Some dogs were barking, and I wondered whether those dogs are unleashed and they would come chasing me. But luckily they were leashed. They were in some house compounds, and then they noticed somebody is walking, nobody else on the road. They were barking. So the example is given, Santamasa Akulaha, quite distressed by darkness. Santamas is darkness. Deepam Vrajati wants light. Some lights, street lamps, etc., would be of great help to complete one's journey. Last but not the least, Shikinam. Fire is called Shiki because fire has those tongues of flame rising, shooting in all directions. So, Shikaha asya santi iti shiki. So, that which has those flames, that which has those shoots is fire. Shikinam Shitavritah Vrajati. Somebody shivering in cold, feeling very cold, looks, oh, there is some fire there. And without a second thought, he or she moves towards that fire. Therefore, to sum up, somebody drowning wants the bank of the river. Some traveler who is tired wants shade of a tree. Somebody who is suffering from torrential rains wants shelter. Fourthly, a guest wants a host to host him. Somebody in financial difficulty looks for a generous donor. And number six, somebody afraid of darkness, thick darkness around her, wants some light. And seventh, the last, is somebody shivering in cold, wants some fireside. She wants to go near the fireside. Tatha, the third line, the end of third line, there is the word tatha. In that manner, O my dear mind, please resort to Lord Shiva. Please go towards Lord Shiva. Everything else is deceptive in this world. Everything else is Maya. Everything else is so untrue. You go and pick up thinking, oh, this is silver. As you pick it up in your hand, you find it is some worthless seashell. The seashell was shining like silver. Many times we are disillusioned. The example of mirage on the desert is given in the Vedanta. You see some reflection of a palm tree and you think there is water. As you go closer, that water body also seems to go farther. Then you realize, oh, I had read about this in high school science. There is something called Marumarichika. It's an optic illusion. There is no water that is reflecting the palm tree. It is the rays of light coming towards me from the palm tree. They get so bent because of density difference in the air, so bent that even though the tree is up there, these light rays make me perceive the tree upside down on the ground below. So one reasons. Like that, can we see that name and fame, power and pleasure, winning over somebody, teaching somebody a lesson, or bossing over people, dominating, etc., etc., all of them do not give to us true happiness. Therefore, Sambhoho Padamboruha is Sarva Bhaya Apaha or Apaha. Apaha means remover. The feet of Lord Shiva remove all kinds of fear. Fear of drowning, fear of the excessive heat, fear of the rains, fear of having no shelter, fear of financial crisis, fear of darkness, and fear of more and more cold, temperature falling further. All these fears and 100 other fears, bhaya apaha, are removed by Shiva. Our surrender to Shiva will give to us such bliss, such wonderful, happy living. All of us finally want to live happily. The externalities are not the main thing. More than a large house, I am seeking the happiness which I believe comes to me when I have a big house. Many times, a big house doesn't give to us the happiness. Need not elaborate this. I want bhaya nivritti, ending of fear. It may rightly be said that spiritual attainment in practical terms is ending of all fear. No matter how rich we are, how well placed we are, how many friends and well wishers we have, and so on and so forth, we live in fear. Human life is beset by fear. And how nicely it is said here, Sarva Bhayapaham Shivasya Pada Amboruham Vraja. Go, surrender at the feet of Lord Shiva, O my dear mind. That is called Manas Sambodhana. Very many times we need to speak to our own mind. We need to speak to ourselves. Even as we are tempted in a wrong direction, we have to say no. There is nobody else saying to us. We are saying to ourselves, no, I should not do this. I must do that. So we move from bad to good, and that's where there is spiritual rise. With this, let us conclude this session on Śivānandalahari. May Lord Shiva bless every one of you with Shiva Bhakti, with Deva Bhakti, whereby your life will be truly fulfilled. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaha.